Hi, my name is Danielle Lovett, and this is my creativity project. So I'm going to first take you through the creative problem solving steps that I did. The first step was clarify, where we had to write down, 30 different ideas for how we're going to solve a problem or what our problem is going to be. And so from that, I came up with my challenge statement. How can I plan an affordable yet eventful trip to Glacier National Park, Montana, before the glaciers are all gone? I've always wanted to go to Glacier National Park. It's across the country. It's very expensive to go to. So I try to figure out a way I could get there in the most affordable way. And so the next step was the ideation step. We just basically had to write down a bunch of ideas about how we're going to solve our problem. We then had to do the unrelated detour, and we had to use Scamper to try to problem solve these ideas. The next step was step 3, which is develop. Basically for this, we had to come up with 3 different ideas of how we're going to solve our problem. We picked the best 3 from the ideation phase. And so the one that I kind of went with was, are there any educational or environmental conferences located there that work will send me to for free or a discounted rate? And so then I had to go through my pluses, potentials, concerns, and how I'm going to overcome those concerns. So some of the pluses, it may be a discounted trip. I teach Avid. Maybe something's going on with Avid. I could get a discounted trip there or a free trip there. I would still be able to explore while I'm working there. Some concerns I had. How do I get to reach out to the correct people at the district to even figure this kind of professional development out? What else? How might I get time off if needed? What way it's going to tell me in my educational career? So just kind of working through some of those ideas. Step 4 was implement. So this is essentially my action plan. So you can see here, I have 5 steps in my action plan. So most of them take place before the school year in the summer. I kind of went with developing my final project to include action steps 1, 2, and 3. And so my final project is going to be, or is, an environmental club outline and a grant proposal that will be submitted to my school leadership team and district. So essentially, I made a grant proposal for a trip for myself and another staff member to go to Glacier National Park and learn environmental issues going on out there. And then I would come and bring it back to a club that I would start at my school, an environmental club. And so this is my actual project. So it's a grant proposal, and the project title is Environmentally Aware Students. And so my project starts with a cover letter. So it kind of just talks about how this is a great opportunity for the students at Azalea Middle School. We focus a lot on career and college readiness, and environmentally geared careers are definitely going to be on the rise as our world kind of starts to see increased global warming. What else? So I talked about how the club I'm going to start is going to focus on local environmental issues, but also those in a different landscape the students have never seen up in Montana in the mountains. And so basically what the grant is, it says part 1 of the project would be professional development of 2 teachers as they learn the ecological and environmental concepts necessary to properly teach students. So this professional development would be a trip to Glacier National Park, Montana in the summer of 2021. Selected students would work all year learning about environmental issues in Florida and Montana and completing smaller service projects throughout the year. The second part of the funding would be a summer trip in 2022 for 2 teachers and 6 students back to Glacier National Park to carry out a service project with their new knowledge from the year. So this is just a cover letter. And as you scroll down, this is more of the grant. So we have the project abstract, we have the statement of need, why this grant proposal even needs to happen. So we focus on how the students that are in the classroom right now will be the most impacted by environmental change, and because of that, there should be some kind of emphasis on being environmentally sustainable from a younger age in middle school. The program description, basically breaking it down. Oh, hold on. Then we have the goals and objectives of the grant. And then finally we have the budget. And so this just kind of lays out everything. You know, I did a rough estimate on lodging and airfare and things to do in Glacier National Park. And so we kind of laid out the total for the grant. And so if we go back to this, step 4, the implement phase, later in the action steps, it would actually have me submitting the proposal to my school and then eventually the district. So, failures and problems to overcome. I had 3. So the first one is I had trouble creating 30 different iterations of my problem. I knew kind of what I wanted to do from the beginning, so brainstorming other ideas, it was kind of difficult. 2, I originally had plans to find some kind of educational workshop or teacher conferences near Glacier National Park for the summer for an easy way to tie it into my work, but I couldn't find any. So the first roadblock I encountered was trying to find an alternative reason to go to Glacier National Park in association with my job. And then 3, the third problem I had when creating my project was I had never written a grant proposal before. So to overcome this challenge, I researched different grant proposal outlines until I found one that best fit my needs, and it helped me write a pretty in-depth proposal. Plan for my future project. The plan for my future of my project will include following Pinellas County processes for the grant approval. The timeline first has the grant being presented to our site-based school leadership team. At this meeting, I will discuss the need for my trip and the program to be implemented at the school. From there, the school leadership team will either approve or deny it. If it gets approved, we will complete the superintendent board request and then submit the grant proposal to the special projects office. From there, I'm not sure what's going to happen with my project. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. My definition of creativity in my project. So based on all the definitions of creativity that we learned about in this course, I would say my definition leads more towards Guilford and Torrance. I feel creativity is all about finding solutions to the problem. There's not really a one-size-fits-all answer to most problems, but if you challenge yourself enough, you can definitely find solutions to any problem. That's kind of what I did with this project. I definitely didn't have a solution on how I can make an affordable trip, but I just kind of like threw things out there until I found an idea that sounded the best, which was my grant proposal. Lastly, reflection about myself. The project was kind of eye-opening for me in regards to how much time and effort goes into creativity. One of the first creativity podcasts mentioned choosing something that you've always wanted to do, and I immediately thought about my dream to visit Glacier National Park. My goal was to find the most cost-effective way to make the trip. During the early stages of the project, I never in a million years thought I would go the route I did for accomplishing my goal. As I continued to complete the project, I was surprised at how creative I actually became with ideas. I took a small idea and grew it so large with such off-the-wall ideas, and somehow I turned my dream into something that was actually feasible. The whole project showed me that no idea is too crazy as long as you're willing to put the time and effort into it to accomplish it.